Okay, hi guys. I've been a bit busy. I got so many emails, guys. If I haven't responded to you, I'm really, really sorry. I'm gonna have to set a day aside just to deal with the emails. I scanned it, or some of them, and with attachments, and you've got some good information, and I know I've got to go through it. I will as soon as possible. Uh, First of all, I need to show you a couple of things. Uh, where shall I start? Pause, Paul. Oh yeah, right. That's where I've been doing. I've been over to find out the costs, how much it will cost me to pay for Tommy Robinson and Richard Inman to fly over to Israel uh, to so they can join the IDF and fight with the Israeli soldiers in their occupation of Lebanon. They're trying to annex Lebanon. They've already started by driving the people who've lived there for centuries off their lands, and they've had to flee to the north. The Israelis are determined to ethnically cleanse the entire area. I'll be showing them a map of where they'll probably be fighting because they will go. They're both dedicated Zionists. Tommy said he would fight for Israel, virtually promised it, didn't he? And Richard Inman, well, we all know he's a religious zealot, Zionist, so he's sure to go. So I thought I'd better find out how much it was going to cost me to pay for him. I'm just not sure whether to buy returns for them or one-way tickets. We'll have a look together. First of all, though, I want to show you this fabulous video put out by the site The Daily Bollocks. I don't normally do this. I normally just play a part and let you go over. But it was so good, I want to watch it again in full. So bear with me. Pause, Paul.
Daily Bollocks. Today, we're opening the declassified files for the anatomy of a grift, the Richard Inman audit. We're looking at the forensic evidence of manufactured victimhood, geographic lies, and a financial exploitation of the British working class during his emergency broadcast. Let's begin with Exhibit A, the refugees' welcome geographic alibi which collapses on inspection. Eamon's alibi was that he was actually standing with loyalists in Northern Ireland who were protesting outside a migrant hotel, and they decided to do the banners together as a parody. The reality? Video evidence broadcast by the Daily Agenda definitively proves the banner was held outside the Home Office in London, completely destroying the Northern Ireland parody defence. The physical distance between Eamon's excuse and the forensic truth is over 400 miles. Eamon manufactured the Northern Ireland parody story to cover up his past actions and protect his current hard-right financial grift. The video evidence proves it was a calculated lie. Moving to Exhibit B, the motive matrix reveals a massive gap between his spoken altruism and his immediate actions. He claims, "I don't do this to make money, I kinda do this because I love doing it and because I love the people of this country." Yet the absolute second his YouTube monetization is cut, he pivots to alternative extraction, immediately dropping his PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee links into the chat. We can track this in real time on the time to monetization clock, showing a rapid descent into aggressive panhandling. First, he plays the martyr, claiming he is cancelled and suffering a death of 1,000 cuts. Minutes later, he makes the pitch, announcing a move to a direct funding model. Finally, the broadcast turns into the collection as he aggressively pushes his Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal links. This is not a political broadcast, it is a rapid response fundraising operation triggered by the loss of Google ad revenue. It gets worse. The hosts openly mock their working class audience by categorising their own stream as a griftathon. Eamon pushes his begging bowl with the payment links, but the facade drops completely when Paul Thorpe enters the stream. The smoking gun transcript shows them laughing, asking if they are having a grift tonight before happily declaring they're going to have a griftathon. The takeaway is clear. They are not just extracting money, they are laughing at the people providing it. Every criticism they receive is immediately viewed as a new business opportunity to sell merchandise. When called a failed grifter, Inman excitedly plans to sell failed grifter t-shirts featuring a graphic of himself sitting in a street covered in a bin liner with a little cup. The activist does not defend his honour, he calculates the profit margin on his own humiliation, funded directly by his working class viewers. This is the anatomy of the machine, showing exactly how emotional manipulation becomes reliable revenue. The input is manufactured outrage and victimhood, with Inman screaming that he's been cancelled and blaming an Islamist plot to generate grievance. This processes into audience panic, activating the loyal subscriber base to feel defensive and protective of the host. The final output is financial extraction, converting that loyalty into hard currency through PayPal links and a griftathon. The definitive verdict is in, and the illusion of the selfless patriot has been shattered. The lie? He lied about the London Home Office banner, fabricating a Northern Ireland parody story to cover his tracks. The greed? He openly mocks the working class people funding his lifestyle by laughing about hosting a griftathon. You cannot build a genuine political movement on counterfeit politics and deliberate financial exploitation. The receipts are in. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it? Well, I thought so. Yeah, he's not having a good day, is he? Perhaps we'd better send him some money so he can buy some sandwiches to take on the plane. I mean, those airport meals can be a bit pricey. Perhaps we'll do him some doggy bags. When I say doggy bags, that we used to say if we were going somewhere in the armed forces, the chefs would knock up what we call doggy bags, be filled with things like sandwiches, stuff like that, pilchards in tomato sauce. They always give us a tin of pilchards in tomato sauce. Pits, we call them, or hits, herrings in tomato sauce as a change. All right, so pause that, Paul. I like that. That was from the Daily Bollocks. I'll leave a link in the description. Now we've got to go somewhere else first. Where have we got to go? Oh yeah, I'm over on Truth Social, President Trump's page. One of the ways that you know that he's in the pockets of the Zionists is the support from Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham used to loathe President Trump. Now he thinks President Trump is the bee's knees, since he's doing the bidding of his Zionist paymasters. This is Lindsey Graham. I just had a great conversation with Potters, President of the United States. I totally support his ultimatum to the Iranian regime to open up the Straits of Hormuz and to do a peace deal. A massive military operation awaits if they choose poorly. If you remember, President Trump threatened to exterminate, wipe off the face of the earth, the Iranian country. This regime has been severely crippled through Operation Epic Fury. Their reign of terror against the region and the world needs to come to an end, hopefully through a peace deal. After speaking with President Trump this morning, I am completely convinced he will use overwhelming military force against the regime if they continue to impede the Straits of Hormuz and refuse a diplomatic solution to achieve our military objectives. If it's not clear to Iran and others by now that President Trump means what he says, then I don't know when it will ever be. President Trump is just Netanyahu's puppet, we all know that. And as you know, there was a peace deal after Trump's total, utter insanity. I think I've got it here. Yeah. I don't think anyone could top Donald Trump's Easter message to open the effing Strait of Hormuz, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. And he promised to blow up bridges and energy facilities if Iran didn't comply. Yeah, this is a war crime attack in the civilian infrastructure. The fact that he is attacking a sovereign state, Iran, just to obtain regime change is also a war crime. Trump was just getting started. With Iran still not having met its ever-changing demands, he issued what might be one of the most chilling statements any American president has ever made. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. He's gone from threatening war crimes on top of the ones he's already committed to threatening genocide in less than 2 days. I was watching the timer last night. We were in a live stream. We had an American in. It was 1 hour to go. Well, what did the Iranians do? They called his bluff, didn't they? And what did Trump do then? Well, he walked back, yeah. He knew that he had lost, but of course, he couldn't admit that, so he had to claim a victory, didn't he? Now, let's have a listen to what this guy says, one of the bravest men on the internet. Let's have a listen.
Very much for being with me again today. As you probably know, last night, about 90 minutes before his own deadline was set to expire, Donald Trump issued a statement saying that he and Iran agreed to a 2-week ceasefire and potential negotiations. This was agreed because of the mediations from Pakistan. Well, and don't hold your horses, Pakistan is not a mediator. You can call Pakistan a mediator, but remember who's the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan is over there, Mr. Sharif, because Mr. Khan was arrested and barred from running for office. So that's why Mr. Sharif is there. Anyway, just so you know who's who, what's what. So in this video, I will show you, I will make a short summary what happened yesterday, and basically the United States of America, I would say, lost again. Then I'm going to discuss the 10 points the Iranians sent to the Americans. They said, we have these 10 points here, these are our demands, and the Americans first, they dismissed them, and now it seems like they agree to them. That's why they're going to meet on the 10th. On the 10th, they will meet in Islamabad in Pakistan for direct talks again. I hope the Americans are not going to bomb Iran again during the talks like they did last 2 times, which was last year and during this confrontation right now, the 28th. I mean, illegal confrontation, genocidal attack, I would say. What's going on here? We're going to find out what Israel thinks about the ceasefire, what they agreed or did not agree to it. Both sides claim victory. Petrodollar is affected by this. Basically, the consequences, the possible scenarios of this 2-week ceasefire, and what could happen next. Donald Trump must know that he did not win, but they already shape it as a victory for him. Why you have to appease the crazy, because the crazy will never admit he lost. Well, we'll see who lost and who won. The Iranian people, brave Iranian people, gave through their presence the vote towards the peaceful nuclear use by the country. That is, they surrounded, they encircled, they formed human chains around their nuclear power plants. Not only, the bridges and so on. That tells us, or should tell us, that the Iranians are telling the whole world, we are allowed to pursue peaceful nuclear research and have nuclear energy. Something that Trump said you can't. All right, we're going to discuss how these guys claim both victory, who actually I think won, and what's next. Let's start with the first article. Russia Today. This is from yesterday. Trump walks back threat to destroy Iranian civilization, which would have been genocide, but the fact that he stated it, that would make him genocidal in his brain. What's the first subtitle? Tehran has claimed it has achieved a great victory and forced Washington to accept its 10-point plan. So what is the 10-point plan? I will show you. So President Donald Trump suspended his looming attack on Iran's energy infrastructure, genocidal that is, announcing a 2-week ceasefire to negotiate a long-term peace agreement based on a quote-unquote workable 10-point proposal from Tehran. Remember, start from this. Donald Trump at one point said he expects, he demands Iran's unconditional surrender. So he said, that's what I want. Now, each and every other thing that you might hear from these guys nowadays telling you, well, he achieved his goals, he opened the Strait of Hormuz. All these things are below, or Iran was not going to have nuclear weapons. They never said they will, but anyway, all these things are not, oh, we achieved our goals. No, the goal was unconditional surrender. He said it. You will probably never going to hear this from the mainstream media anymore. Why? Because that would clearly show that these guys did not reach the goal. Oh, we got to change the regime. All these things were over there, but eventually unconditional surrender. 10-point workable plan seems to me that is not an unconditional surrender, is it?
Okay guys, that was Emil Kosman, one of the best guys out there for if you wanted to learn about what is happening in the Middle East and what the Zionists are up to. He can tell you about some of the things I've spoke about in greater detail, probably more outspoken than me. He chooses his words more carefully also. Let's go have a look at this. Pause. Okay guys, let's have a listen to what Abby Martin, who went over to Israel. Let's see what she has to say. She's from the excellent Double Down News channel. Wow, it's pretty good stuff. Yeah, let's have a look at that. What's she got? Oh, wow. Over 1.25 million views in a day. We're late to the party, guys. Must have been good for that million people to watch it. Let's see what she has to say.
This rogue, apartheid, genocidal, maniac, serial killing, pathologically lying state, isolated, shame anyone who goes there, academics, celebrities, politicians, and they've been exposed for what they are. And Zionism's on its last leg. It only exists by the weight of its propaganda, and that propaganda's collapsed entirely. The world sees Israel for what it is, and it can't last for long in its current state. You cannot expect change in a society this far gone. It is full-throated fascist, and that's why they act the way they do, with full, total impunity, because they have no humanity left. This is a society so far gone with protection of a military empire, with hatred in their hearts. And we're seeing essentially the Fourth Reich today, marching forward, and there's no allied forces coming to save us. The Israeli Knesset just passed a law allowing the execution of Palestinian prisoners, but not Israelis. This is the true face of apartheid Israel. But this is nothing new. I saw this firsthand when I was in Israel back in 2016. Full-throated fascism.
You can't deal with these people. There's no need to try. There's no need to talk to them.
There's only one way, like, I would carpet bomb them.
You would carpet bomb them?
It's the only way you could deal with it.
I didn't realize this. I didn't realize how viscerally, grotesquely genocidal Israelis were. How openly fascist they would be to anyone.
Jews shouldn't marry Arabs.
Shouldn't marry Arabs. Why do you feel strongly about that?
Because Jews is a special nation that God gave it to the Jews. We don't want the Arabs to be here.
They knew that they were on camera. That's what's so alarming to me too. I wasn't trying to hide. I wasn't doing gotcha journalism. I was going up with a camera and saying, generally, what do you think about the situation?
I think Israelis have to take over, and they have to kick them away.
I was so horrified and alarmed at the genocidal rhetoric that was being espoused. Every single person, for every generation, every walk of life, they wanted ethnic cleansing. They said we should nuke them. One little girl laughing, we should kill all Arabs. Kill all Arabs.
We need to kill Arabs. So.
It shows you the impunity back then. The arrogance to just assume this is what you guys think too, right? You're an American, you agree with me. You guys have been doing the same thing. This is who we are. We're proud racists. We're proudly fascist.
How many civilians have been killed in Gaza, from what you know?
Who gives a shit?
Okay, but don't you feel like, for example, children?
Children grow up to be Arabs.
You have to.
Oh, we've heard all that before, haven't we? Nits grow up to be lice. Oh well. I'll leave a link to Double Down News in the description. Let's move on. Let's go see how much it'll cost to send Tommy and Richard out to Israel, because I'm sure as committed Zionists, they'll definitely go. Oh yeah, that's where they're going. Yeah. See if I can zoom in. Yeah. There's the land that Israel's currently trying to steal from South Lebanon. Hezbollah will push them out. You can click on it, find out where there's bits of action and stuff like that going. But that's just, Richard Inman's not the brightest light in the room, so I'll just show him a map of here's Israel, here's where the Palestinians, what's left of them are. There's a load of them here. They're trying to drive them out into Egypt, ethnically cleanse them. And this is where the action is, and this is where Richard and Tommy will be bravely fighting for Israel. Yeah, a lot of action up there. A lot of tanks being lost, APCs. Israelis are really getting their butt kicked there. So all we can do is wish Richard and Tommy the best of luck on their arrival. Like I said, we will provide them with sandwiches to eat on the way. And now how much is it going to cost? I've had a look. I've checked it out, nice and simple. Typical cost, London to Israel, Tel Aviv. Cheapest one way, £60 to £200 if you catch a bargain. Typical one way, £140 to £200. Return flights. Do you think they'll need return flights? I mean, Tommy's a brave man, and Richard Inman is even braver. He's super tough, he is. He's got a punch bag that he punches, and he knows how to do unarmed combat. Yeah, I don't know if that'll stop. Oh well. So roughly £300, £350 return. So I'll take £700 out of my burial savings, and I'll bookmark that for a return ticket. We'll buy them a return ticket, but I don't think they'd need one, do you? Anyhow, back in the bunker. That's it. See what good guys we are. See what good guys we are. Helping the Zionists to fight for Israel. Okay, Richard, don't forget to send us a postcard. Yeah, and you, Tommy, as well. One other thing, could you let us know what flight you're taking so we can follow you on our live stream, where you take off from Heathrow and then land at Tel Aviv. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow. There'll be a live stream tonight, and there'll be another live stream tomorrow morning where I'll just be playing music and maybe chat. No, I won't be chatting. It'll be reading the chat and listening to music. See you on the next one, guys. Bye now.